Welcome to the first episode of Reinforcement Talking. I'm Maria.
And I'm Jen.
And we're from the UCL AI Society. Today we will be discussing what AI is, how it all started, and how far we've come.
With all the wonders AI brings into our world, its impact on society is undoubtedly highly influential, bringing us a world of benefits and conveniences that we could only dream of just 50 years ago. But it also brings about a serious debate of controversial ideas and fundamental values that must be addressed as society and technology advance.
On the one hand, people are no longer wasting hours doing routine tasks, leaving space for creativity and exploration, and making lives more efficient and simple. Advances in deep learning and data science that have been used in healthcare to design better drugs. In science, we can predict outcomes of experiments based on available data. AI can also help us tackle climate change by designing more energy-efficient buildings or automating the deployment process of solar and wind energy. Or it could improve education via new adaptive learning environments that continuously adapt tasks and assessments to match their individualistic needs.
On the other hand, AI can pose privacy risks by singling out and identifying an individual, reinforcing biases and prejudices present in society. Automation also costs people their jobs, leading to higher unemployment. Deepfakes have already stormed the world and facilitated the spread of fake news, identity theft, and propaganda. It is therefore crucial for us to consider the ethical implications as well as the utilization of AI for political gain.
In our podcast, Reinforcement Talking, we will raise questions to experts in the field working at the frontier and learn about current AI methods within different fields, including medicine, science, environment, and education. We will then tackle the question of which country is the most likely to win the race of developing AGI and what it will bring to humanity. We're going to be unfolding the economic, financial, and business aspects of AI while glancing into the future to see what it can bring to our society.
But first, what is AI exactly? There's so much hype around this buzzword, it's really easy to get lost in what it actually means.
In the most basic sense, AI is the artificial simulation of human intelligence processes through machines, especially computer systems. Although we may not realize it, we all encounter some form of AI on a daily basis. Search engines such as Google, content recommendations on platforms such as Netflix, self-driving vehicles, facial recognition on your phone, and so much more.
So we can essentially get machines to perform tasks for us and even tailor it to our own preferences?
Yeah, exactly. And this idea of inanimate objects being able to perform human tasks can be traced back to ancient times. There are ancient Greek myths of robots, and we've even seen some attempts to build them in ancient China and Egypt.
What? Really? But I thought machines only really kicked off during the Industrial Revolution.
Well, AI wasn't established as a field until 1956.
1956? That's kind of surprising, actually. I'd associate AI to the post-millennium era.
I mean, it wasn't until recently that it became modernized in popular culture. But Alan Turing suggested the underlying concept of computing machinery and intelligence in 1950. Alan Turing, the father of computer science, pondered the following question: can machines think?
Oh, this is when the famous Turing test was suggested, right? Where human interrogators try to distinguish between computer and human responses.
Yeah, and even though this test has gotten a lot of scrutiny since its publication, it still remains an important part of the history of AI, and it's also an ongoing concept within philosophy.
Right. So then how was AI actually established as a field?
It was finally established as a field during Dr. McCarthy's workshop at Dartmouth College in Hanover. The 11 scientists that attended the seminar very optimistically predicted that within a single generation, we would be living in a world where machines were as intelligent as humans.
That seems like a bit of an utopian dream.
Yep, it was. There were some reports claiming that such intelligent machines would lead to catastrophe for all of humanity. This led to governments withdrawing funds to support these projects, leading to a decline in interest in the field, which is now known as the first AI winter spanning the 70s and 80s. There was a bit of a push from the Japanese government to resume funding into AI, but the little progress they made led to a second AI winter in the early 90s. The research has picked up from then, and in 1997, IBM's Deep Blue AI system beat Garry Kasparov at chess, the world champion back in the days, which revived hope and interest into the field and thus more funding.
That's quite interesting. It seems that nowadays is present almost everywhere, from Apple's Siri to Amazon's Alexa and IBM's Watson and autonomous vehicles. I've also heard of AGI. Do you know what that is?
Techniques from AI are indeed used ubiquitously nowadays. Weak AI or narrow AI and AI is well developed and directs most of what surrounds us today. It is called narrow because it's trained to perform specific tasks, whereas strong AI consists of artificial general intelligence, AGI, which is a type of AI with human-like capabilities. Then there is artificial superintelligence, SAI, which will go beyond human intelligence. Despite weak AI having great success today, strong AI is yet to come. Although it has no practical use at the moment, humanity should prepare itself for these powerful systems in advance, preferably as early as possible.
And so, what about machine learning and AI? I hear these two words being used interchangeably as well. Are these the same concept?
Well, machine learning is one of the most successful and well-known methods used within the field of artificial intelligence. This field employs a range of statistics, mathematics, and computer science to learn from experience, or in other words, data. The most revolutionary part of machine learning appeared about 20 years ago, which drastically changed our lives.
Oh, so do you mean deep learning? I also came across the words supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. How do all of these learnings relate to each other?
Yes, exactly, but let's break it down first. Deep learning uses multi-layer artificial neural networks, ANNs, to process information. ANNs are a type of architecture which is inspired by biological neural networks. The first artificial neural network, proposed by Frank Rosenblatt in 1958, called perceptron, was used to process visual data in a similar way the human brain does. Existing for decades, it was only recently that it has been successfully trained on large amounts of data, thanks to its availability and increased computational power. Supervised and unsupervised and reinforcement learning are learning methods that use various types of available data. For example, supervised learning techniques are centered around both input and output data which is provided. This could be thought of a teacher helping with the learning process, while unsupervised methods only require the input data to extract the patterns within it. Reinforcement learning is completely different. It uses an intelligent agent that makes decisions to maximize the reward.
Right. Okay. That sounds a little bit confusing. Could you maybe give us an example of how these methods work?
Okay, so for instance, consider a dataset of images with cats, people, and cars. Each image has a label that corresponds to what it represents. Again, cats, people, and cars. The supervised machine learning methods associate the images to the labels, so that when presented with a new image of a cat, it would say that it is a cat. Unsupervised machine learning methods will only have images of cats, people, and cars presented to it, with no labels. It will try to extract similar features from each and then separate things into different categories. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours discussing AI and how it works. Instead, in our series, we'll break down some of the most commonly debated topics within the field of AI, while hopefully also giving you a better understanding of the technical side of AI and some of the confusing terminology used in the field.
We're really looking forward to having all of our guests on the podcast. We hope that you'll join us weekly for some thought-provoking discussions about the world of AI and its impacts on us and our society. We release new episodes every Wednesday on Spotify. This is Jen and Maria. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Tune in next week. Bye!